Peace. Ow.
Hey guys, this is Michelle with Kill 9, wrapping up the PAX 2009 weekend here in Seattle. I'm joined by Boomer's Day Off co-writer Ben Patton, and more importantly, Earl Alexander is joining us, probably best known as the voice of Lewis in the game Left 4 Dead.
Yo. Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us, by the way.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
So, have you seen Boomer's Day Off?
I
Why are you laughing?
Because it was not bad. No, I'm laughing because it was funny. And, you know, my one of my colleagues, you know, Ben Dunn is in there. So, you know, I had to laugh. It was great. Yeah.
So Ben Dunn plays Oscar, and the weird thing is we just kind of ran into each other. It wasn't even PAX related.
Right.
That's probably the funniest thing about it. But yeah, apparently you went to school with Ben Dunn.
I went to school with Boomer himself. But of course he wasn't quite as pasty when I knew him like that, you know. He wasn't a zombie yet, you know.
It's funny how time ages you.
Yeah, no, what happened? What happened, Ben?
He died.
He did die.
No, he was infected. That's what I meant. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Ben. Moment of silence.
He was a moment of silence.
Okay, moving on.
Okay. And then also the woman who played Zoe, I forget her name.
Jen Taylor. Yeah, Jen Taylor has been a friend of mine for a while. We did our first. The first time I worked with Jen was like 2001. We did a play together here in Seattle.
Nice.
Oh God! In a Shallow Grave. Yes.
Wow.
And we're also going to be on the. Oh, should I just?
Was In a Shallow Grave the title of the play or the location where it was performed?
I can't talk about that.
Okay.
And so you worked together on.
Yeah, we were just
Left 4
in.
Dead.
Yeah, we were. Oh yeah, and Left 4 Dead, which was great, you know, because I don't get to work with her that often, so it was pretty cool to work with her, kinda. Even though we're recording at different times, you know. We were in the studio together once though, and that was for the intro of the Left 4 Dead movie where we're all together. Because most of the time I come in, I do my lines, and then, you know, she'd come do her lines, and then Francis and so forth, and then they just edit it together.
Yeah, that's funny. I never would have guessed that you weren't even in the same room.
Yeah, I think they do it because it takes so long. I mean, it would take a long time if all four of us were in there together. So usually, if I go in, I'll have my pages of text, and then, you know, they'll direct me the way they want it done, and then, you know, that way you can just keep going. The one time when it was all four of us together, but it was actually fun to do. Like, you got the other actors in there because, you know, you don't have you have them to read their own lines. You can actually react to it, because when you're by yourself,
right.
You know, maybe one of the Valve staff sometimes they'll read a line just to give you a lead in or something, but most of the time you're just going through it, you know. And even sometimes, because they rent the studio for a certain amount of time, so it's like, okay, we got to rent the studio, we got 4 hours, we got to get out of here. And so you just you're just working and you're sweating, and, you know, when you're done, you're like, hey, what's happening? How you doing? You know, we got to, because we have to save the screaming for last, because if you do the screaming ahead of time, and then it's like, oh man, I can't do Lewis anymore because I won't sound like him, because my voice would be a little bit too heavy. So
The screams are fantastic, by the way. It's one of your best work.
oh, thank you.
Did you have any idea how famous you were going to become for those lines?
No. None at all. I had. You know, I knew the game was popular, but I didn't know it was that, you know, that cool, that popular.
Yeah.
So how does it feel knowing you have tons of fans out there?
I don't know, maybe a little surreal, you know, kind of thinking, oh, really? You know, yeah. I mean, this weekend I think was the first time that I realized like how big of a following that the game actually has.
It's kind of your first real exposure to the fan base.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because usually, like, if I'm doing a game, you know, I don't really get to any follow up, or I don't really know what's going on after you do the job. Because I figured, you know, Jen would probably have Jen Taylor Zoe would have a bigger idea since she does Halo. But what's the Cortania? I think is the character's name.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, but even when I talked to her about it, you know, because I said, man, you know, I got friends that play. You're huge, and she's like, what, really? And so just like that, like in the game that's coming out, the Saw video game, neither one of us knew that that we both are on the game. It wasn't until like I was recording, and then the guy was like, oh yeah, Jen Taylor, she's gonna be on the game too. So, you know, I was like, oh sweet. So I'm working with her again.
Awesome.
Kinda, you know, yeah.
But not necessarily in the same studio.
Yeah, you know, she probably was like came in and did hers like a day before me. Then I'd come in and do mine. So that's pretty cool.
So you had mentioned that you've done more recording for Left 4 Dead recently in the past few months, right?
Yeah, and actually about 6 weeks ago, actually. Did you want me to tell you kind of what was going on with it, or what? See,
well, whatever you're allowed to say.
Okay. Well,
yeah, we don't want to get you in trouble.
Because it's stuff that hasn't come out yet.
Okay. So, yeah, really, because you know I had to kind of sign like a confidentiality agreement, basically about it. But if you want me to go ahead and tell, I can tell you what happened.
It's up to you. I mean, this is the thing. So because it's going online.
All right.